Hey fellow Brick Fanatics, DJ Bricks here, back for another video, and today I have a review for a 2022 LEGO Marvel set based off of the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special from Disney+. The set is Guardians of the Galaxy Advent Calendar. It is set number 76231, is recommended for building ages 6 and up, comes with 268 pieces, and retails here in America for about $45 US, and it is kind of loosely tied into the Guardians holiday special that recently released. And I will, if you haven't seen one of my advent calendar reviews before, I will go through this day by day, so if you don't want spoilers, just come back and rewatch it after Christmas, or follow along, because I will include chapter things down in there so you can follow day by day if you want. But let's start opening it up, deconstructing it, and seeing how it stacks up. So we're going to start off by looking at the packaging, because we're going to have to open this up to actually deal with the advent calendar. So you got, looking at the front of the package, you got the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special logo up the top for the branding, Guardians logo in the corner there. Nice product shot of a few of the things that we're going to be unboxing in this set, with a nice little Christmassy nowhere there in the background. You got the Christmas bow in the corner there, letting you know that there are 24 little builds each day leading up to Christmas. Top of the box just has a little bit more, some of the builds that are included for the advent calendar here. Mantis is sporting the actual size reference. Back of the box does show some more of those builds, as well as showing that flap can come down, and showing that each individual numbered thing for the advent calendar. But cutting the tape on this, we can take a look. You just cut a few things of tape that are keeping the flap tied there, and we can see we got the numbers up the top here, different colored days, for kind of looking like the collector's cases on Nowhere there, with all the numbers. And then the bottom flap for the play area, you do get what looks like just metal flooring with a nice amount of detail there. But going through this, all you have to do is find the particular day that you are counting down. So starting at 1, it's in this corner here. All you do is you punch open the perforated and pull it out, and it'll give you a nice little building there, with a nice little baggie of the included build for that day. Day 1 starts off with Star-Lord. Of course, we get the leader of the team to start off soft for this advent calendar. The figure is pretty nice. It's reused from the Guardian ship that came out in 2021, so it's mostly based off of Infinity War and Endgame, but it is very nicely done. You get his iconic blasters with the but they are molded in a lighter silver color. That started with the Guardian ship last year, and he does come with a built-up accessory for his little rocket boosters on the side of his legs here. I will note that unlike that Guardians set, he does not have dual molded legs here, so that is a bit of a downgrade, but I do like seeing the built-up rocket packs. Nice torso print again, and his nice back torso printing. Same hairpiece we've been seeing, and same headpiece from that we've been seeing for Jurassic World and the Marvel sets, just for all the figures based off Chris Pratt. So pretty well done figure. So for day 2, we get a couple gifts, I guess, for Star-Lord. First up, you get his Sony Walkman. It's pretty simple build here. You do get a printed tile on the front representing the Awesome Mix cassette tape. There's not really specification for what it is on the tile, so I guess LEGO can reuse it if they want to. You got a nice little part usage here for the play button. Flower piece there used for some detail and provide some coloration to the actual Walkman. And then the other thing, you do get a present and a nice red and heat orange color. You get a star at the top for a bow. This is the type of present that can be opened with the tile there. And inside the present, you get two dark tan things. You get the headphones. You get the headphones here, and you get a round 1x1 tile for some reason. I guess when the headphones are in there, it's supposed to represent part of the cord for the headphones. So that may be it, but I'm completely at a loss at what else it could be. A3 is a drone. It's pretty much the like turrets meant to keep the prisoners in line in the kiln in the first movie. Pretty much it's a nice little simple build. It's very detailed, however. I do like the rounded corner tiles here used for the front eyes of the drone. You got some nice part usage here. Same design at the back. You got a couple antennas or something that can be posed if you want to. Day 4, pretty much we get the pretty standard advent calendar tool rack. Kind of built up a little bit. You got some sand blue there just to represent stands, but as you can see, you get a wrench, the hammer piece, and then you get a piece of dynamite just clipped on. Next up is a figure. We get Rocket, again like Star-Lord, reused from the Guardian ship last year, so he's in his Endgame attire. This figure is notable for two reasons. They did change Rocket's fur color from the previously it was gray. They used brown color here. I think that is a little bit more accurate to Rocket's fur in the movie. It's kind of hard to tell with where he's lit and the lighting on the scenes. However, his outfit, I don't think gray was the correct color to use for his Endgame attire. I would have liked to have seen sand blue. That would have been a more close color to what he's got. But getting to the printing, you have some nice printing for his goggles up at the top there. You have some nice printing for his face, and he's got a nice little mischievous grin down there. You got some really nice torso printing, despite it being the wrong color. It is very nicely detailed and very accurate to the movie. The scarf is a very nice red color. And then at the back, you do have some nice torso printing there as well. Very nicely detailed. He does come with the standard raccoon tail here in a brown color as well. Day 6 brings us a random tote of junk for Rocket. It's very nicely built up. You do have some nice sand blue at the bottom there, but all the goodies are what's in the tote. So let's dump it out, see what we got. You got the Yondu's magical whistle arrow. You do get one of the minion eyepieces here to represent the replacement eye Rocket gives to Thor. You get one of the battery pieces from the Sovereign that Rocket stole. So it's the exact same build that we got back with the Guardians 2 sets. You get this piece, which I don't know what that is supposed to be specifically. Maybe like a detonator to something. I don't know. And then this is kind of also kind of up in the air. I think it's supposed to be the orb that the Power Stone's contained in. It may be a piece of Chitauri tech. I don't know. It's probably just supposed to be a random build that takes up parts, but yeah, there's a lot of nice Easter eggs with this as well. So day number 7 is a oversized gun for Rocket. Of course, Rocket needs his guns. And it's very nicely built up. It's very similar to the one he has in the first movie. It's got a nice little big handle for him to hold two-handed, but the minifigure can't actually hold it two-handed. If you fudge it a little bit, he can, but this is more meant to be like a kickstand, I guess. So Rocket doesn't fall over, which is pretty nice design that the designer implemented. Nice little shoulder thing. The barrel of the gun is very nicely built up too, so that all just looks really nice. Day number 8, you get a turkey piece on a pedestal, pretty straightforward, and then you do get this fire piece with a stud, anti-stud at the bottom. All that's for is to just put it in Rocket's gun here as piece of ammo, so it can look like he's roasting the turkey there. So next up for day number 9, we get another figure. It's one of the 2 holiday exclusives for this calendar. You got Nebula in a festive Christmas sweater. So going over accessory real quick, she's just got a standard small little present built up with some purple and blue. Fairly basic, but you know. And then going into her head printing, that is a new head. Considering we never got Nebula last year for the Endgame sets, we do get her this time. She does have that copper plate that she got for Endgame right there. It's very nicely detailed, very nice choice of color as well, and it's very nicely detailed for the face as always. And she does have some back head printing as well. And then getting into her torso printing, she does come with festive Christmas sweater with Thanos, Thanos' head with the Infinity Stones. I guess kind of a sick little joke there by the designers or something, but it's very nicely detailed. Only downside, if you want to reuse this torso, it does have some curves, female curves on it, so that's to watch out for. And the other thing on the back, you do have some nice more details, and you get a little heart with Nebula and Gamora for that sisterly love that these two share. So day number 10, you get Yondu's Driller from Guardians Volume 2. It's fairly uses a handful of pieces, but I do think that it is very effective. They do use a technique that that some of the designers have used for the Star Wars ones, where you just have a cylinder put on the side like that, which is very effective. You have a clip there representing the little drill thing, cockpit. You have an ingot piece used here for some detail at the top. So nice range of colors. It's very effective. Again, very much looks like what it's supposed to. Day number 11, more mini ships. We got one of the mining pods from nowhere. Again, very effective with similar build techniques to Yondu's. You got a nice little clip there representing the mining part of the little drone here. Some nice detail at the back for the engine. And then the other build, it took me a second to recognize what this is, but it's the smaller pod from the Benatar that Thor and Rocket take to Nidavellir. So It does look pretty nicely. It does use clips at the side for the wing detail, but that also serves a purpose in a later build we'll get into. Day number 12, you get a table full of treats and drinks and stuff. So you do get 2 of those cup pieces in silver. That's still a pretty rare color for those pieces. Again, we can see the sand blue to represent wherever this scenery is taking place. Couple cupcake builds with different colored tops, bottle of root beer, we're assuming, and then you get a nice little built up of a orange or something, and you do get that printed tile representing a cut orange, and that is a pretty rare piece, so that is nice to get in this advent calendar. Next up, we got Mantis. This is also reused from the Benatar ship. She's got a guitar piece unprinted as her accessory. This is updated from the last time we got her, so she's a little bit more movie accurate. The torso, it may look unchanged. That's just because LEGO was kind of very close with their design when they first designed her for Volume 2. So they just only had to do slight tweaks to the printing to make it accurate. The only problem I really have is she should have printing detail down here at the legs, and she should really have a skirt piece for the back for the rest of her outfit that carries down onto her legs here. Those are very two missing details. The other problem to watch out for on mine, quality on the antenna are not printed very well, so they don't have the same colored tan of her skin tone, which is very unfortunate in my case, and paint's a little sloppy. But that head is still reused from the original Mantis figure, and it's been reused for a bunch of other characters as well. So you can see some of the back torso printing there as well as her other face, and getting that headpiece back on because it's rubber is pretty hard, but that's what that face looks like, highlighted by the number 14 gives us a micro model of the Benatar. They do use a nice array of pieces just to get the cockpit shape right there at the angle. They use nice part usage just to get the angles of the wings of the ship here. It does kind of look awkward just because of the small limit of pieces, but it is pretty effective. And then you got the engine details back here, and they're actually on clips, so they can move in and out. There's a kind of cool little feature with the previous day that I alluded to. If you take the small little pod here from day number 11, you can open these up, and the clips on the side of the wings there, kind of, you push this in, locks it into place, so you kind of have that pod there. So that is pretty cool, that whether that was intentional or not, it is kind of cool that you can attach those two crafts together. Number 15, candy cane decoration. What you see was what you get. It's pretty self-explanatory. I do like the fact that now that LEGO has these macaroni pieces, they can make a candy cane a whole lot better. But only downside is the candy cane should be a little bit more shrunk in at the top there, but it still is very good, and it's very effective, and it does look like what it's supposed to. Day number 16, we get a boombox. So to the sides, you got these speakers that are kind of nicely built up with just a couple of pieces. The grill on the front, making the speaker design there. That's pretty nice. And then the main boombox. It's pretty simple build, but you got three nice prints on the front. You got the update gauge piece on either side, just represent, I'm assuming, dials for the volume and bass and stuff. And then you get a second of that nice awesome mix print. So that is pretty cool that we get two of those in one advent calendar. Number 17, we get a snowman wearing Thanos' armor. Again, pretty straightforward. It's pretty nicely designed. You do get a nice array of gold pieces, especially that old knight's helmet in gold. That is pretty nice. It doesn't really, much like the minifigure scale version of Thanos, that doesn't really match what either the comic book or the movie version of his helmet looks like, but I guess it's close enough without making new mold. So day number 18, you get a micro build of the Guardians' first ship here, the Milano. Talking build wise, it's pretty effective. Mainly with the fuselage here. I do appreciate all the parts used to get that nice angular shape from the front of the ship, as well as the tooth piece here in trans blue color, just to get the shape of the cockpit there. That's really nice part usage. And then you have some nice engine detail at the back here. Where this really falls down for me is with the side wings here. It's about as best as you can do. I suppose at micro scale it just doesn't look quite right. I think it juts out way too far, and then you have all these weird angles here, so it does do the trick. It just kind of looks way off, to me at least. And these side wings you can move up and down a little bit if you want to pose it. But day number 19, we get Teenage Groot here. He's not going on the minifigure stand just because he's got this nice little cloud base thing. I guess it's supposed to represent a little bit of snow that he's standing on. He does come with a that newer foam print, because this is still Teenage Groot, and teenagers are obsessed with their cell phones. We saw that in the movie kind of a little bit. He's got some nice, this figure is of course reused from that Bentar. This is pretty much the last one from that set being reused. So you got some nice torso printing here, nice leg printing. They did change the color from the previous Groots of being reddish brown to being the Stark tan, which is way more accurate to how Groot looks like in the films. I don't know why it took them that long to change the color of him. He does reuse the same head mold from Teenage Groot. It's just printed up really nicely with nice details for his face. You got some sand green towards the top for moss that's kind of repeated all over the figure. And going around to the back, he does come with this nice bracket piece in brown. That's for something else that we'll get into in a later day. But removing that, you can get a good look at his torso print there, and it's pretty nice. It's just got more of the wood detail from the front of the torso on the back there, with some nice sand green mixed in there as well. Day number 20, it's pretty much a bunch of foliage with some pink lights on it and a star at the tree, so kind of a Christmas tree motif we got going on here. But what this is mainly for, we take Groot from the previous day. That's what the bracket's for. You put this on his back here, and Groot's the Christmas tree for this advent calendar, which is pretty clever. He kind of was... It kind of looks really good, but of course you have a tree-like being, you're gonna make him the Christmas tree. Day 21 here, we get part 1 of a 3-part build. This is the first part of the sled for this year. You got some nice design of white and red. You got a hinge clip at the back here, steering wheel. Not much more to say until we get more of this build. Day number 2, and that's us the second part of this sled build, which is the side wing pieces for either side. So we're gonna take those, put them on, and our sled is a little bit more complete here. You can see how it's starting to shape up, but we got one more day of this. And day number 3, back part of the sleigh, you got the green sack, which is a rare color for that part. It's only come in one other set, the Sesame Street set, so it is nice getting that color for that piece in a cheaper way. But this is the back part of the sleigh, and it just connects via the hinge back there. So we got our full Christmas sleigh for our Christmas, for Santa to deliver presents. This looks very nice, all complete. I do like the Christmassy colors, the red, the white, the teal accent colors. It looks all very nice. You got some pink cones back here for engine detail. It just all looks very nice, and looks very nicely designed. And last up, day number 24, Christmas Eve, we get the other festive figure for this set. Drax wearing a holiday sweater. Accessories, he comes with the Power Stone. You're meant to remove 2 of these from this little sprue thing. I just didn't want to because I didn't want to lose them, but you do get it. I'm questioning why this is included. It doesn't go to anything unless this is just to reference the fact that the first movie, the orb with the Power Stone inside of it, was a MacGuffin for that film. So maybe that's why it's included here. But again, it doesn't go to anything. It doesn't attach to anything. So I'm questioning why it's included here and why they ask you to take 2 off that sprue. But putting that aside, we get Drax here. Accessories, he does include a spoon and a fork in those silver colors, so pretty rare for those pieces. But instead of his usual weaponry, maybe he's gonna attack that turkey and eat it all up. Head print, we get a little divisiveness here. Lego changed their skin tone for Drax. Previously, it was on a light gray piece. They changed it to sand green here. I mean, that's a little bit more comic book accurate and kind of accurate to certain lighting of certain shots of that we see Drax in. So I can understand the impulse to do that. Maybe make him make him look a little bit more alien, a little bit more appealing. But it is a weird change to just implement this now. But that head print still looks pretty nice. You got the tattoo details around his eyes. You got a nice stern expression, nice back head printing for for his tattoos on his head. And then you get to the Christmas wear. It kind of looks like the one that he actually wears in the special, but I'm guessing Lego didn't have the licensing rights to use that specific design, so they just kind of took liberty with it and substituted it in a dancing baby Groot with a Santa hat on the front of that. So that is pretty nice. That's pretty nicely designed too, actually. And flipping around to the back, you got some nice back torso detail with some more notes and stuff. So this does look pretty nice. Again, my only real complaint here is why the Power Stone, why not have it attached to anything. For extra pieces, we get a pretty standard selection of like various studs, one by ones, plant pieces in different colors, different cupcake pieces, toppers in different colors. So just a whole bunch of expected extra parts. And then you get some nice rare ones with the utensils, one each in that silver color. You get an extra one of that headphone piece in dark tan. That's pretty rare. You get an extra one of the speedometer pieces, and then you get one each of that lemon or orange slice piece. You get an extra one of those. That's pretty nice. And then you get an extra one of that minion eye piece. So that is rare. That only came in one of the minion sets. So that is quite a rare part. So that is pretty nice to get in as an extra piece. And then talking briefly about the instructions of each day, everything was pretty straightforward. As about as forward as you can get with a one shot builds. Nothing was too complex, even with the Milano here. That it was all relatively easy to build, relatively easy for someone to understand and build. Get into my final thoughts for this advent calendar. Pretty much, you got some standard micro builds for. It's typical of advent calendars. All of them are pretty well done. Some of them less so than others. Figure-wise, like the previous Star Wars ones and the Marvel ones, we do get some reuse of figures, but these are all pretty rare. They only came in one other set so far, and the figures that are Christmassy are really well done. I quite like the fact that Groot is the Christmas tree for this calendar. That's pretty cute and fun. Drax and Nebula being in like Christmas sweaters. I can't ask for too many of those, but what we do get is very awesome. Those are definitely good for custom building. Most of these builds are just micro builds from the previous movies. There's very few that are actually Christmas based, and I will get into slight spoilers for the holiday special. It really feels like most of this doesn't have anything to do with that special. It really feels like this was a Guardians of the Galaxy themed advent calendar that they kind of took inspiration or whatever very little they got from Marvel Studios for the special, and then they just put that on the box. But that doesn't detract from anything. That just gives credence to the few holiday figures that we do get. And this is still a pretty stellar calendar, especially it's matte. It's a little bit of an improvement from last year, our first Marvel calendar. That one was very hit and miss. This is a marked improvement again. You just get a lot better stuff here, a lot better references. You get that awesome mixtape print. I do really appreciate that tote for Rocket of just the random movie references. The small little ships are all good references. The only real thing I had an issue with was, again, we get the little sprue of the Power Stones, and I don't quite know why. Again, maybe it's just because the Power Stone was the MacGuffin of the first movie, and that's why the designer felt like including it, but there's no storage for it, and it doesn't go into anything, so I don't get that. So, with all of the builds and stuff considered, and with that price, before I get into my score, price, $45 for this, that is really steep. The calendars were overpriced before, but that is really pushing it. So, if you can get this thing on sale, I highly recommend it. It it's very worth a purchase. It's just not for that $45. So with all that considered, set does get a 7 out of 10 for me. Again, highly recommend it. Really good figures, really good build, some rare parts. Comment below, let me know what you think about the set. I always look forward to having a discussion with you guys. And like, share, subscribe, ring that bell, all that jazz helps the channel grow. And I will see you in the next video. Until next time, stack on.